What are the key factors that led the young author in America to become a model for youth leadership? The heroic story of Tieshan Bryant is presented on Afromedia channels in Canada. I'm Sayed, extending a warm welcome to you all. We will talk to our great author in a second, just after a short break of just 30 seconds, and we'll be back, please.
Afromedia Canada, c'est l'Afrique à miniature. Afromedia Canada au service des Africains. Afromedia pour le bonheur de tous les Africains. Afromedia Canada is Africa in miniature. Afromedia at the service of the African. Afromedia for the happiness of all Africans. Afromedia Canada, إفريقيا المصغرة. أفروميديا كندا في خدمة الأفارقة. أفروميديا كندا من أجل سعادة جميع الأفارقة.
Hi, great author. Tieshan, welcome to the show. Good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you too. How you been?
Great. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
So how you were able to make it all? You are a very young American author, a head of a non-governmental organization, a youth leader with master's degree. What are you doing to the world? Tell me your story, please. A great inspiring story for everyone to follow, please.
Yes,
I'm all ears. Listening to you, please. Yes.
All right. So it all started at the young age of 13. I became pregnant and I gave birth to my daughter at 14. And during that process, I had a very strong support system. My parents, they were very supportive. And my mom told me, to go out. You're going to be great, regardless of what anybody say. You're going to do what it is you set out to do. I have your back. And with that, she kept her word. I graduated from Russell County High School in the top 10% of my class. I continued my education by getting my bachelor's in social work from the #1 HBCU in the nation, which is Florida A&M University. And a year later, I received my master's in social work from Troy University. And a couple of years later, I became a licensed master social worker. And in 2014, right after receiving my bachelor's degree, I started a nonprofit organization. We Have a Purpose Incorporated to provide preventive and interventive services to at-risk youth and their families. Because the area I'm from, which is Pittsview, Alabama, it lacked many opportunities. And I wanted to just give back to my community and those around me who were affected in any way, whether it was in a community that lacked opportunities, a single parent household, whatever the case may be that considered them at risk. I wanted to be there for them. And I've been doing so for the last, over 12 years now. So that's really how it began, and it has been really great so far.
All right. Thank you so much for that great introduction. Let me share this video. I was after you in the media, and I got a lot of information on you. So let me share this with you, and then we talk about this, please.
Okay.
You remember this?
Yes, I do.
What it is?
Okay. So in that moment, I was actually the keynote speaker, guest speaker for college graduation here in the Phoenix City, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia area that actually took place at the Trade Center for 101 Technical College. So it was definitely a pleasure to be able to speak to a group of hardworking, dedicated college students who were receiving their degrees. So it gave me much pleasure to be able to speak to them. And the location was very vital, very sentimental, because that's the actual place I was supposed to have graduated with my bachelor's degree from. However, due to some unseen circumstances, it didn't happen because God had other plans for me, which caused me to graduate from FAM. So that was a very beautiful moment in my speaking career.
What do you have told them?
Well, I basically encouraged them. I informed them that, this moment I wanted them to take time to just take a deep breath and breathe in the success that they were, that had just took place.
Question, God, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Well, within that same week, I was accepted into my dream school. I didn't want to leave my baby, but I had to complete what I started. In 2014, I graduated from the #1 HBCU in the nation. And for those who don't know what that is, that's Florida A&M University, which is the #1 historic Black college in the nation, with my bachelor's degree in social work. In the same year, I returned back home and attended Troy University to receive my master's degree.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing for this great event. So let me switch to another video and we'll comment on that, please.
Okay.
Thank you. What is this?
Wow. That is Street Talk with Miss Loretta Rose right here in Phoenix City, Alabama. We were actually talking about my first book, Imperfectly Perfect 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey. I was able to share with everyone as far as how I started writing the book, why I wrote the book, and basically encouraging people to get the book. And the book is basically for parents, whether they are parents of teenagers, toddlers, or adults. It focuses on the parent in parent. It simply allows them to say F them kids and actually mean it, because the F stands for Freedom,
Right
Foundation,
it's
and
Street Talk with
Focus.
Loretta Rose, and you're watching it here on Beam TV. Thank you again for joining us today here on Street Talk. And our special guest is an author out of the Tri-City community area. And her name is Tieshan Bryant. She is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on. And I want to say thank you for being patient. Because we have been trying to get you on for some time. And I am just super, super proud of you, because you are in the field of social work.
Yes, ma'am.
And very passionate about it. And I don't think a lot of time people get to see the hearts behind those that serves families,
Right.
you know. So when did social work start for you?
Wow, social work started for me when I was young, when I was like really young. I had some cousins who were going through different things within the system, and they would come to us. So it really started there for me. That was the starting point. But what really put the icing on the cake was being pregnant at 13 and have to utilize different services and seeing the help that other people gave.
Wow.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
those that are watching, and you're probably like, what? Yes.
Right.
Yes. After hearing this interview, you are going to be inspired to know whatever you've had to go through, it had a purpose.
Yes.
You know all about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So you also have a nonprofit organization.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am,
us
I
about
do.
that.
Well, my nonprofit is We Have a Purpose Incorporated.
Wow.
It is We Have a Purpose Incorporated. I started in 2014, right after I graduated from FAMU. I wanted to come back home. I saw the village had disappeared, and I wanted to come back home to help bring the village back. And it's a nonprofit that provides prevention and intervention services to at-risk youth and their families.
Wow, I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And that's what you're doing, fulfilling. And you helping other people to realize they have a purpose.
Yes,
no
ma'am.
matter what the situation or circumstance. I love it. Now we're going to get right into it.
Okay.
Imperfectly Perfect is the title of your book.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that.
Well, Imperfectly Perfect, it's simply what it is. It's okay. I had to accept the fact that I'm not perfect.
So much for that great interview. I really would like it. It's so
Thank
much
you.
inspiring. I love it. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for it. Yeah, tell me about your publication. How many books have you published so far, please?
So far I've published 2, and I've also been a co-author in another book. So my publications, the first one is Imperfectly Perfect: 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey. My second book is my newest, which is Resilience Over Regret. And the book that I co-authored is On Your Glow, It Looks Good on You. I co-authored that with Shalonda Williams Leonard. So that's what I've done so far. Don't know what God has in store and what's next, but those are the books I've been a part of thus far.
Great. Okay, what about the NGO that you have started and why you started it first, please? Thank you.
Okay, the nonprofit that I started, which is We Have a Purpose, I started it to give back to the people in my community, those who were considered at risk. That's the first business I started. The second business is Resilient Family Wellness. And Resilient Family Wellness started from me being in a car accident in February 2021. I experienced anxiety, stress, and just like PTSD from being in that car accident. And at that moment, I just started my full-time entrepreneur journey. So I did not have insurance. I had just switched over. So I couldn't see a therapist. because I didn't have insurance at the moment. So I had to coach myself. I had to go through the process. I had to teach myself how to cope and deal with the emotional distress that I was enduring. So shortly after August of that same year, I reached out to my attorney at the time, Jared Ralston, God rest his soul. And he was like, okay, we can do that. So I began to see clients the month of August, start seeing clients who actually experienced emotional stress from car accidents. In addition to that service, I provide parent coaching, and that's my infamous F Them Kids parent coaching program, where the F stands for Freedom, Foundation, and Focus. And I also provide life performance coaching. So if you're just at a place in your life and you really don't understand your direction and what it is you want to go, I actually assist with that. Lastly, on the Resilient Family Wellness is Tieshan Bryant, the speaker, the author. That's exactly who I am.
Thank you so much, Taisha,
Mhm.
for this great, inspiring experience and lovely story. Let's share another video and comment on it,
Okay.
please. After your permission.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, here we go. Who is this?
That is that is Dee Armstrong. She's right here in the Columbus, Georgia area. She's been in television news for years. So to sit on her couch was definitely an honor. That's Auntie D.
Great. And you have a message on the screen from
2005, 3 or
Laura.
4 months
Let's
along
listen to her
before
first
you told
for a short time, and then we'll get back. We continue, please.
them. Share with the audience what made you not become one of those statistics we started this with. What is the difference between what you chose to do and some girls who decide, I'm going to get a government check, I'm going to leave my mother, and I'm going to start my own life with my own apartment, because they've given up?
Well, the difference for me would definitely be my foundation. My foundation in Christ, my prayer life, and I had an amazing support system. Not only did my mom and dad support me, but my aunts, they showed up. It was like a one call, that's all. And it was like, listen, you would not be everyone else. You're not the first, you won't be the last. You are going to be successful. We got your back. Go be great.
Wow. So now, share with them what you do, because most of the time I'm practically related to you.
Right.
About two generations away or something.
Right.
But when I see you most of the time,
Another great interview. Thank you so much for that as well. So you have you have comment on the screen from Loretta Rose saying you have made it to Canada.
Yes.
And another message too from D. Armstrong. You made it to Canada. So your people and your network are so happy that you made it to Canada. Welcome again. This is a lot of performance for a young author and a young leader like you are, from the book Imperfectly Perfect, from resilience, business world, parenting, life coaching, live performance, parenting, and foundation. This is a lot of work for a team, not to mention a young author. How you were able to write a book, and who encouraged you to publish your first book, please?
So my first book, I intended on telling my story, my testimonial for being a teen parent. And while writing, God was like, nope, that's not what I want you to do. I need you to talk to these parents, because a lot of times the issues with the parent and child relationship is the parent. So I was actually sitting on the couch with my husband, and I was like, hey, I'm going to write this book. And he was like, okay, go for it. So it took me like a day and a half, 2 days max, to actually get the book written. I then sent it to my mother-in-law, author Denise Clayton Bryant, to actually look over it to make sure that it made sense. And I then sent it to my editor, Shaka Lies Cobb, and also to my spiritual tea mommy, Apostle Shalonda Williams, so they can look at it, being that, they were not new to the author arena. And I was like, okay, everyone liked it and it made sense. It was an easy read and it was more so interactive. So with that very book, I've actually turned it into a curriculum that I actually teach from. So my biggest inspiration from that is just my experience as a social worker, working with parents and seeing that the parent-child relationship needed more work, and not just telling a parent how to be a parent.
Great. Thank you so much for that. What about this LMSW stand for what? Again, don't tell me that
Yes.
you are mid. Don't tell me you are in the academic world as well. Go ahead, please.
No, it stands for Licensed Master Social Worker.
Wow, in master degree as well. Wow, that's a
Yes.
great. Thank you so much. How you were able to cope with all of this and work on all of this different field at the same time, in the academia, in the social world, in publication, in coaching, all of this together, please.
One word, and that's God. Like, I have no other
And you
answer
believe in God
besides
too.
yes. Yes, I definitely believe in God. Like, that's how I made it through. That's how I was able to do the things that I've done thus far. And I know that's how I am going to continue to do the things that He has for me to do. So I do nothing without Him. So everything I do is, He gives me the strength to do so.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Tell me about what are the difficulties that you have encountered along the way of publication and coaching as well, and leading the
Mm.
foundation, all of this. The main
So,
difficulties, yes, please.
so the main difficulty would definitely, I would say, for me, with the whole nonprofit sector and going into the coaching arena, is funding, because my heart wants to just give it to everybody. I just want everybody to have everything they need and not worry about, money to do it, and just like give out services. And I know at the end of the day, like, my bills have to get paid and I have to have a life, but God has definitely been able to provide. He's been my provision. I have not lacked anything. So when God tells me to give, I give. And when it's time for me to charge, I do just that. So that has really been like one of my biggest issues, is knowing when to and when not to charge. But I'm not there anymore. I've grown. So I know when to charge and I know when not to charge now. But in the beginning, I did not. I wanted to give everything away.
Great. Thank you so much. Encouragement and praise from Angela Lorin saying, praise God. So proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mama Angela.
Thank you. Okay, tell me about the new hopes you like to present to the Afro-American world, please.
So for me, my whole thing to the African American world is to love more. Like, let's just love on each other. Let's do things in a loving way. Let's get back to, that foundation where it took that village to raise a child, where we can just come together as one without the extra things that, come our way, basically. So that's one of the main things that I really want for the African American people, and to know that therapy is okay. Like, just the way you have like a family practitioner, you can have a great therapist and still love God. Like, and I think that's where a lot of people in the African American community, they feel like, well, I just go to God for everything, everything's going to be all right. Yes, that is true, but God also gave us therapists. He gave us doctors. He gave us counselors and things of that nature. And I think we should definitely utilize those things that God has for us in order for us to be better. And just the love of family, honestly. So a strong family is very, very important to the African American community.
Thank you so much for that. Tell me about what do you think of the Afro leaders in diaspora, especially in Canada? What do you like to share with them in this show, please?
So one thing I will say, just stay the course. Do not give up. Even when it appears to be difficult and it's like you're fighting a losing battle, just keep going. Continue to build your people up. Like, don't have that crab in the bucket mentality. When one of us make it up, we're pulling each other down. We have to continue to help one another. And that's in leadership, because a good leader will want a good follower. So you have to be able to do both. Whether you're the CEO of the company or the janitor, the CEO should be able to sweep the bathroom floor or mop the bathroom floor if necessary. So I just feel that we should just continue, like I stated, do it in love and continue to build one another up, regardless of the position you're playing.
And what do you like to share with the youth, African youth in Africa and Canada as well, please?
Yes. So what I will say to our youth is you are not a lost cause. Your generation, there's still hope. Do not give up on yourself. Do not fall into the trends of social media. Do not try to do what the next person is doing. Begin to love yourself. Begin to know who you are so you're able to love yourself beyond measures, and know that you are important. Know that you are loved. Know that you are needed. You're smart. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You're any and everything that you put your mind to. Don't let things of the world and people put a label or a stigma on you and you feel that's who you are. And let's get back to reading. Reading is fundamental. Like, we've gotten so far away from reading to we just want to do fast, everything fast, social media, and we're not reading to learn anymore. So I think, youth, let's get back to it. Start by respecting your parents, respect each other, respect yourself, and just continue to live in love.
Thank you so much for that tip. Would you like to give us more practical recommendation out of your experience for young leaders, please, to follow your
Yes.
great exemplary model, please?
Yes. So very practical. Write it down. Work through it. Um, just just like a pizza, it has 8 slices. It's cut up for a reason. You can't eat the entire pizza in one bite. So that's with your goals, that's with anything you're trying to accomplish. Break it down so you're able to go forward step by step versus trying to do everything at one time and it going to overconsume you. That's not what you want. You want to take your time, and actually get you a good coach, a good mentor, someone who will speak life in you when you don't even want to speak life into yourself, someone who actually believes in you. And, pray, even though, a lot of people, prayer is a spiritual, faith-based type ordeal. But to me, it is also practical because I know they go together. I know my faith without work is dead. So I have to have my faith and I also have to work it. So, and it's universal. So you have to put in the work to see results. The more you want, the more you have to give. We have to put down our cell phones and get off of social media all the time and actually focus on how to build our brand, how to do what it is we're supposed to be doing, and not worried about what the next person is doing, how many followers the next person has, but just focus on yourself and building your brand and building who you are.
Great. Thank you so much. And your last word to the world. The time is flying with you, so we came to the end. Your
Yes,
last
yes.
word to the world, please.
Yes, I will say, please purchase a copy of Imperfectly Perfect 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey. and Resilience Over Regret, where I tell my testimony of my journey of being a teen parent, love, faith, and family. They are all available at bit.ly/RORTNB. It's all capitalized. And I want you to know, if you cannot find me there, I am Tieshan Bryant on all social media platforms and also on Google. And know that I love y'all because I can, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Keep God first and continue to be great. Thank you so much for such a fantastic interview.
You have been everywhere. Thank you so much, Tieshan, the American author. And thank you so much for speaking to Afromedia Canada in this special edition. Until we meet again, wishing you all the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome.